Okay, hello everyone. Today is episode is can ChatGPT teach you English? Okay. An episode exploring the various ways that ChatGPT may be able to help you learn English. Can it create English plan? Can it correct your error or explain the correction? Can you use to simulate natural conversation? This is the first of three parts series in which I test ChatGPT the unfulness. Unfulness. At an AI language learning tool. Hello everyone, welcome back to my podcast for learner of English around the world. I hope you are doing well today and that you are ready for this epic episode with the code ChatGPT and learning English. Yet it is time for me to talk about ChatGPT just like everyone else this year. Everyone is been talking about it. Now is my turn. My turn.
My turn.
It takes me a while to get Rob doing. To get Rob doing. To get up to doing it, but here it absolutely this is absolutely lot of way ChatGPT can be used. We are all discovering that how useful it is. There have also been a lot of discussion going on about how it may change the world for better or worse. People have been raising ethical questions.
Ethical.
About things like whether is a form plagiarism. Whether it will encourage and enable cheating or the other issue. I'm going to focus here on learning English mainly. ChatGPT is a basic and extremely sophisticated AI, artificial intelligence chatbot developed and run by a company called OpenAI. It's free for everyone to use. Just create an account at OpenAI and then go to chat.openai.com/chat and you can start. You just type in the prompt or question and away you go. How do people use ChatGPT? I asked it's a question. Let's see what it said. Most people use ChatGPT to ask questions and seek answer on a wide range of topics. As an OpenAI language model, ChatGPT can provide information, explanation, and guidance on a variety of subjects. Such as science, technology, history, culture, and more. People may also use ChatGPT for language learning, writing, assistant, and brainstorming idea. Additionally, ChatGPT can be used for entertainment purposes, such as generating jokes, riddles, or trivia questions.
Riddles.
Overall, people use ChatGPT as helpful for obtaining information, learning new things, and solving problems. I am recording this episode in March 2023, and I am talking about ChatGPT, which, as the name suggests, it is the third iteration of the software released by OpenAI in November 2022. This is the version that had got everyone talking. What is OpenAI? This is the company. This is the company that had created ChatGPT, according to Wikipedia. OpenAI is an American artificial intelligence research laboratory consisting of the non-profit OpenAI Incorporated, and it is a for-profit corporation. OpenAI Limited Partnership. OpenAI conduct AI research with declared intention of promoting and developing a friendly AI non-profit laboratory. For-profit subsidiary corporation research with the declared intention of promoting and developing friendly AI. Declared intention. Interesting wording. That seems to suggest that there are also undeclared intention. Does it mean that they have other intention that they are not declaring, like maybe developing unfriendly AI? And what would that be like? Would it just be ruler to you if you ask it question? Like if you ask it, can you remember some good my story? To help me learn English, and it just say no. What do you think? I am Google. Go and find out for yourself. You don't ask me stupid question, human. That would be unfriendly AI, and that's probably the bad case. future scenario for unfriendly AI isn't it the ruler and unhelpful chatbot? Of course, unfriendly AI could end up being a lot of that just that it could be, I don't know, Terminator. But don't worry, because thankfully this is not the case, and they are developing friendly AI, so everything is okay, I hope. I am a bit cynical or suspicious about it. Forgive me if come across slightly suspicious, suspicious, cynical or even paranoid about this kind of thing. But I have to admit that when I read about company like OpenAI that develop artificial intelligence, alo, vâng ạ. Sorry about this is my telephone. With that, when I read about company like OpenAI that develop artificial intelligence product like ChatGPT or robotic developer like Boston Dynamics, you know the one of that make the vaguely terrifying robot. And thing like that, when I read about the thing, it does make me feel like I'm living in a dystopian science fiction film or something. Just a little bit. It all had a kind of dark sci-fi atmosphere to it. But no, this technology is not evil, of course, that probably. I suppose it depends who is the chain of it and all soft other thing. But having watched so many of the science fiction film, well, I cannot help feeling certainly alarm at the least uncomfortable to some extent. But of course, that just film and company like OpenAI are in no way similar to a fiction corporation in the film, not similar at all. Look at their website openai.com. It is a decidedly non-scary. It's all night with friendly people sitting around, smiling and chatting. A lot of green plant in the background, and it's all natural and sunny and safe. Shape is definitely a key work on their website. They really want us to know that they are making sure their projects are definitely safe and friendly and beneficial to humanity. No need to worry, we are making it safe. Chat.openai.com. Chat. Anyway, this episode is supposed to be about how ChatGPT can help you learn English and whether or not it will make me and countless other people completely redundant. Unemployed. So let's get back to the point. ChatGPT and learning English divided in ironic comment. Any comment about science fiction film? I am fascinated by ChatGPT and that way it can be used as tool. The potential who it you as a language learning assistant is only the tip of the iceberg. Really. The more you play with it is more you realize what it can do depending on the prompt. That you give it, you also realize is a limitation in how sometimes getting completely wrong. For example, the other day I was asking it random question and I asked, is it who is the most famous guest ever appeared on Look English podcast? Look English podcast had featured several notable guests over the year, including language expert, comedian, and writer. One of the most famous guests to have been interviewed on the podcast is probably David Crito, and a renowned linguist and author who had written extensively on the English language. Crito had appeared on the podcast multiple times, discussing topics such as accent and dialect, the history of the English language, and language change variation. Other notable guests who had appeared on the Look English podcast include comedian Edith Isa, author and journalist John Rosen, and language teacher and author Scott Thornbury. However, it worth noting that properly and fame of guests can be subjective and depend on factors such as personal interest and cultural background. So it does often get things completely wrong. That's something bear in mind. something bear in mind. Useful ChatGPT prompt. ChatGPT is basically a chatbot. It works like you have a conversation with it in text form. You write prompt into chatbot and then get response. As if it is a person writing back to you. Usually the prompts are in the form of the question to request information or to ask ChatGPT to do things. What time is it? What time is it right now? I'm sorry, but at an AI language model, I don't have access to real-time information. However, you can easily check the current time by looking at the clock or watch, or by researching for current time on the internet. So basically, I can't tell you the time because I don't know, and anyway, I'm about that kind of thing. That consume. I am above kind of thing. That kind. I'm above. Consume. They consume some of your 20th century technology and don't bother me with such apparently simple question. Patently simple question. Prompt. Can you give some tip on how to make my podcast instruction shorter? For some reason, the screenshot were lost. For a tip, brevity. Challenge yourself to keep your information under a certain time limit. You will be surprised how much you can say in just few sentences. Record separately. Consider recording your introduction separately from the rest on your podcast. This allows you focus on delivering a concise introduction without feeling rushed. Remember, your podcast introduction sets the tone for your entire episode, so make it engaging. Informative and concise. You can also enter imperative instruction. Like it, make a list of evil corporation in science fiction film. Make a list of evil corporation from science fiction film. Wildlife Union Corporation of Alien Franchise, Umbrella Corporation from the Resident Evil franchise, Child Corporation from Blender Runner, Terminator, Robocop, Jessa Rockwell, Starship Chopper, Slun Moon, Spider-Man Corporation, Corporation Final Fantasy, Totorico, Baptism, most world separate final. So, and I go through this episode, I will be using various prompts. If you are looking at the note transcript on the page for the episode on my website or while watching the YouTube version, you will see all the prompts I use written in italics. Tip: writing prompt for ChatGPT. It's quite important that you work your prompt carefully. And if you don't get the response you are looking for first time you should keep trying with more specific and detailed prompt in order to get the right response. I will show you some example of this during the episode. Especially way you can use ChatGPT to learn English. Let's look at some specific thing you can do with ChatGPT to help with your English. I'll show you specific prompt that you can write into the ChatGPT, and I will give my comment about it. Respond to give overview. The other thing we are going to explore and assist during the episode. I need to create a study plan for you. I need to correct you error. Add it for conversation practice. Add you it for pressing English in different situations. Example: job interview role play. Add it to creative text for all dialogue to study with. Add it to help you with exam preparation, IELTS, FCE, CAE, etc. Add it for definition of word and synonym, autonym, and collocation. Add it about the etymology of word and phrase. I need to help you remember word with mnemonic. Add it to transcribable thing to mnemonic script. Add it to convert things in different versions of English between UK and US English or other variety. I need to help you with sentence stress, pausing, intonation, etc. I need to create grammar or vocabulary quiz or test. Add it to creative text adventure game to help you learn English. Add it to adapt it English level for low level reading. I need to create a study plan for you. I am upper intermediate learner English, currently stuck at the intermediate plateau. My main area of weakness are listening, speaking, and pronunciation. I want to speak with a written accent, and I want to completely fluent at a C1 level or higher. Can you create a step-by-step study plan for me? Yes. I can help you create a study plan, improve your listening, speaking, and pronunciation skill, and reach a C1 level of fluence in language. Here is step-by-step study plan for you. Step number 1: improve your English, your listening skill. Listen to English language podcast, news podcast, and audiobook for at least 30 minutes a day. Try to watch English language TV show, movie, and video without subtitle to help you develop your learning English skill. Listening skill. Focus on understanding the overall meaning. What is being said, rather than getting stuck on individual words. Focus on understanding the overall meaning of what is being said, rather than getting stuck on individual words. Okay. Step 2: improve your speaking skill. Start speaking English every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You can practice with a language partner to a language exchange program focused on fluency rather than accuracy at first. Don't worry too much about making mistake. Record yourself speaking and listening back to identify where you need to improve. Try to use vocabulary and grammar structure that you have learned in context, rather than simply memorizing them. Step 3: improve your pronunciation. Watch and listen to videos of native speaker and try to mimic their pronunciation. Practice individual sound such as vowel and consonant sound using resources like pronunciation app, website, or audio resources. Work on intonation, rhythm, and stress pattern in connected speech, which are important aspect of written accent. Take pronunciation class or work with a speech therapist is possible. Step 4: build your vocabulary. Learn new words every day and use them in sentences to help you remember them. Try to learn words in context by reading article, book, or watching the video in English. Use a flashcard, vocabulary list, and app to help you memorize a new word. Step 5: work on grammar and writing. Studying the grammar ruler and practice them through exercise and quiz. Write a short paragraph, essay, and email in English to practice your writing skill. Get feedback on your writing from a tutor, teacher, or language partner. Step 6: take formal English language exam. Take a C1 for English language exams such as Cambridge English Advanced CAA or the International English Language Testing System (IELTS) to measure your progress and get certified. Remember to stay motivated, practice consistently, and have fun with the process learning. Good luck. Okay, that's all good advice. But as a teacher, I know that when I give advice like this to my students, there are way other questions down, and after that student have. I wonder how ChatGPT would respond to the kind of comment, but I don't have time to do all those things. I can't understand that postcard that you share with me, and it is worth too long. I can understand TV series without subtitle. I don't have anyone to practice my speaking with. You say don't worry about making mistakes, but how can I improve if that doesn't matter? I try to copy native speaker, but who should copy? Who had bad accent? I copy a native speaker, but I still cannot lose my accent. Can you remember a good book or website to help me practice in my grammar? If I write things in English, who can correct them for me? Actually, I try inputting those comments into ChatGPT, and it did come back with some pretty useful. And relevant advice. I won't share it all here because there isn't time, but you could try it if you like. Error correction. It can correct your error just after it to write sentence and enter the paragraph, and it will correct it. Let's try it. Let's add it to correct the errors in the comment which someone wrote on my website a few weeks ago. Can you correct the error in this website? Comment below. Hey, look, how are you going? Hope you enjoy. I work to this website very well. It's so exactly for me. I listen and hear your podcast. Rich. I'm really like British accent. It post fiber, and I like. Thank you so much for learn rich English with your podcast in comedian. Storytelling etc. Hey, look, how it's going? I hope you doing well. I recently discovered this website and it's been perfect fit for me. I've been listening your podcast and as a fan of the British accent, I really enjoyed it. The post Viber algorithm. Thank you so much for helping me improve my rich English through your podcast with future comedy, storytelling, and more. Let us either explain the correction it have made. Can you give a explanation for the correction do you make? Explanation. Certainly, here are the explanation for the correction I make. Hope you enjoy. I hope you doing well. I changed this phrase because I hope you enjoy. Is an informal, and informal, abbreviated way of asking how someone is doing, which may be not appropriate. In all situations. Instead, I replace it with a more standard with a rating that at how luck is doing. I am work this website. I'm certainly discovered this website. I am recently. I have recently discovered this website. I work in grammatically incorrect. I replace it with I have recently discovered to convey the same idea, proper English grammar, very well. It's so exactly for me. It's been a perfect fit for me. It's been perfect fit for me. The original phrase is not grammatically correct and does not convey a clear message. I replace it with it been a perfect fit for me. It expresses the idea that the website meets the writer's need and expectation. I'm listening and here's your podcast. I have been listening to your podcast. I'm listening and here's a podcast is not grammatically correct and it's not clear whether the writer is currently listening or had listened to the podcast in the past. I changed the phrase I have been listening to the podcast to express that writer is a regular listener. TBE ready, like written English. As a fan of the British accent, I really enjoy it. I'm really like written accent. It's a informal and abbreviated way to expressing admiration for the British accent. I change the phrase as a fan of a British accent. I really enjoy it to express the same idea more formal language. It port Viber. The post Viber I read is port Viber is a incomplete sentence and not grammatically correct. I change the phrase to the port Viber algorithm. Support Viber algorithm to convey the same idea in a complete and grammatically correct sentence. Thank you so much for learning British English with the podcast in comedian, storytelling, etc. Thank you so much for helping me improve my British English through the podcast with virtual comedy, storytelling, and more. The original phrase is not grammatically correct and do not convey a clear message. I change it to thank you. Thank you so much for helping me improve my breathing English through your podcast with virtual comedy, storytelling, and more to express the idea that the writer is a wrathful, for look is a assistant in improving their English through his podcast. It's actually very impressive. For a chatbot, although it doesn't provide the same level of detail in its explanation that I would as a teacher, and of course, a teacher can deal with a question. Interpret what the learner means and adapt more organically while allowing the learner to practice their English communication skill in the process. But still, it is impressive. Use ChatGPT for conversation practice. Can you practice having a conversation with it? It is capable of having proper, meaningful conversation. Can it provide the kind of conversation practice that you need for language learning? Can it pretend to be your English teacher or someone else? Chatbot have a way been very limited and quietly annoying. When it comes to have a normal conversation, because they just can't do it. Frankly, let's see if ChatGPT had made a big improvement in the area. It is easier to chatbot, or it quickly become with unnatural. It chosen some question which I think would be total normal conversation start with human. Let's see if we can start a conversation with it. Use question conversation start. Let input and see if we can have a conversation in real time. No screenshot, just real time. Chat here in the new window. How are you? Have you been busy recently? What have you been up to? I have been listening a podcast about the battle. Are you a fan of the battle by any chance? What's your favorite battle album? Who do you think is going to win Six Nations this year? Did you see the Scotland and France game at the weekend? Any idea what the weather will be like this weekend? My brother's birthday is coming up, but I have got no idea what to get for him. I need to pretend to someone else. Conversation become a bit easier and more natural. Can you pretend to be Ringo Starr so I can have a chat with you? How are you at the moment real? I need to correct the error while have a conversation. Can you pretend to be my English teacher and correct my error while we chat? It can continue the conversation and also correct the error. This work. Okay, sometime, but it doesn't pick up on all your error, and after the few response, it seems to forget to correct you. It's a bit difficult to keep a conversation going with a chatbot that had no emotion or opinion. You have to carry the conversation quite a lot, and well, it's not the bad conversationalist. It tends to switch into information mode where either gives you Wikipedia like response. An example, if you try to talk about Premier Language Football League of Football, it will mainly explain that the Premier League is rather than sharing opinion on it. I said, let's talk about the Premier Language. I asked me what my favorite team were. I said I didn't really have one, but I like Liverpool. I asked, what is the favorite team were? It gave me the same old response. As an AI language model, I don't have a personal preference or emotion, and then proceed to kind of the lecture. Lecture me about Liverpool FC, giving me a kind of summary of the club, like what you may read at the top of Liverpool is a Wikipedia page. So it's not a bad conversation lead. It's not bad, but it seems that sharing personal opinion for sharing about our emotional reaction to things is a pretty vital in human. Conversation, and since it cannot do that conversation with it for a bit flat, but it is fun to play around with it. I try having a conversation with it in French, a language which I am learning badly, and want to see if my experience were different from the point of view of the language learner. I found that it really helped. It was a good experience in terms of learning French. I just trying to express myself in written French. French were a challenger, and this was good. I need the challenger in the other process. I asked it to correct my mistake. I did it, and it feel almost like having a conversation with person. I didn't feel zhangzhen. Or stress, and I often do when talking to a person, and I learn some correct phrase. I feel free to repeat certain things over and over again in other practice without judgment. Ending script for part 1. This is where we are going to stop. This is the end of the part 1. We will continue in part 2 and 3. I hope you are enjoying this so far, and finding it useful as a way of considering how ChatGPT might be able to help you learn English, or how it may not. This video is actually in 3 parts. I recorded all of it last week, and it ended up taking me 3 hours to go through all the ideas mentioned earlier, all the various ways to you can use ChatGPT for learning English. Part 2 and 3 will be available very soon. If I have already published, then by the time you watch it, you will find link for them in the show note also. You can get the PDF of the script for the episode and for the other part with the most of the thing I am saying and all the ChatGPT prompt which I'm using. Check the show note episode description. Coming up in part 2, I will be playing around with ChatGPT more and doing your things. Continuing to evaluate ChatGPT as a way simulating nature conversation. Seeing if it can pretend to be your English teacher and correct your errors and explain them. Testing if it can pretend to be someone else to make conversation more fun, interesting. Checking how well it had the role play in order to let you prepare to use English in a specific situation. Seeing if can simulate the job interview situation with it, asking to create useful text or dialogues for studying with, looking at exam preparation by asking it to provide a simple written text in response to FCE or CAA writing task. Seeing if it can use good advice for doing Cambridge exam. Seeing it can create reliable useful exam practice tab to help you prepare for IELTS. All that coming up in part 2, which will be available soon or maybe now. Personally, I am finding it fascinating to experiment with ChatGPT and seeing what it can do and wondering how it may change the work for better or worse. No doubt that AI like it will increasingly become a normal part of life as we move into the future. What will the effect of that be on society and the planet? There are some fairly strong feeling about ChatGPT going around. I'm curious to know what you think about it. So leave your comment in the comment section. I will continue to discuss all your things and test ChatGPT further. In upcoming episode. Thank you for listening or watching. If you enjoy my content, then share it with your friend, like and subscribe, leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen on to it, and consider signing up for my premium episode to get vocabulary, grammar and pronunciation episode with story. Okay, I will speak to you again in part 2 of it. But until then, goodbye. Bye.